Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another video. Joe here with TeufelGunden Armory, and a subscriber reached out to me and asked me to make a lubrication video for the Tokarev TBP12, the bullpup 12 gauge that they make. I had previously done a video on the complete disassembly and assembly, and what this was requested. So I went ahead and I tore it all back down. Got 4 tools that I used to do it. I used a 7/32 and a 3/32 hex, as well as a spanner wrench and a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tear down this firearm. And now I'm going to show you some of the lubrication points and whatnot to be able to get in there and make sure it's properly lubricated. Just grabbing my AP brush real quick. So first and foremost, you have the actual fire control group that you're going to want to make sure is properly lubricated. You don't need much. Typically, if you just take a Q-tip or other, cleaning apparatus and just put a couple of drops of oil on it, then you'll take and you'll rub it along the springs on both the trigger and work that and make sure it's all good. Same thing with the sear, the disconnector, the hammer, the disconnector, and the sear. Just get those springs nice and good. Like I said, a couple of drops on the Q-tip. Just rub it along there and work it, and it will be just fine. The trigger to the trigger to the disconnect, or to the hammer, you have a metal rod running along this side edge right here. So you can see it running along this side. So that connects the trigger mechanism to the rest of the fire control group. And you'll want to make sure that where that rod goes into the metal, you'll also have metal on metal contact there, and you'll want that done. The selector switch, same thing. You'll take just not much, like 1 drop of oil on each side, and you'll just put it right where it goes through the platform on each side, and then just work the trigger. Make sure it's nice and lubricated there. And that's pretty much it for the actual lower receiver. If you want, you could also do the magazine catch and button and the bolt catch and button. Just not much, 1 drop, and work it in and make sure those parts are lubricated where you have the metal on metal. Just right here, and if you're pushing the magazine button in, just right here, and work those, and those will be nice and lubricated up. You don't want a lot. You don't want, standing oil. Just 1 drop will go a long way. So that's that part. Now for the bolt, same thing. Just 1 drop on the Q-tip, and you're just going to want to get in there where the springs are, where you have this moving piece back and forth. So as that's pushed down, you can get the outside right here and right here, because that's going to slide back and forth across the metal carrier. And then you don't want to do the trigger, because the more oil that's, I mean, not the trigger, the, apologies for that, the firing pin, because similar to the AR platform, you have that carbon buildup in there. Is the carbon buildup is promoted by standing oil in that firing pin channel. So you want to make sure you're getting the least possible amount of oil in that channel. So that bolt carrier is done. I would also complement that on the inside as you're putting it back together by just putting a drop on your fingers like that, and super lightly coating the exterior, because this bolt will slide forward and backwards in the actual upper receiver, and anywhere where there's metal on metal contact, you want to make sure that you are lubricating it. On the I'm going to call this the bolt channel. I don't know the official name for it, but the bolt locks in right here, on here like that. So this holds that bolt, and when you pull the charging handle, you're going to, and the charging handle will go right here. But when you pull this charging handle back, it's going to pull the bolt back. And so this runs along the inside of the carrier, the upper receiver as well. So you just want to take that, little bit of oil on your hands, and just make sure that there's just the slightest amount of oil on this railing right there. So that being said, I can put this back in there like so. Now, that part's done. Gonna go on to the upper receiver. Sorry, it's still fly season here in Oklahoma, so you see that fly, it's really bugging the piss out of me, but I have failed to get it at this point. So another big thing is threading. Anywhere, with threading, you have metal on metal contact, but it's also super thin metal on super thin metal. So threads can get damaged very easily. So just one drop on a Q-tip and get those threads right in there, and that right inside where this barrel nut sits, get right there. And then where those rails run along the inside of the upper receiver, you're going to want to oil up in there, and that is good to go. So the upper receiver is done. The spring, literally just the oil that's on your hands. You don't need a lot of it. You don't really need a whole lot on the barreled action, because it is one solid piece. But with the threads, you're going to want to oil up in there as well. And these threads right here, oil those up as well. Not a whole lot. You can see you got a little bit of carbon coming off of it as well. With all the assorted nuts and threading. Just a little bit. You got the gas tube, the gas piston, and the housing that it sits in. The only thing that I would really lubricate on the gas piston is the front lip right here, the part that's inside, and then the gas ring right here. So this is going to be similar to what's on the bolt, the actual bolt itself in an AR platform, and that holds it in like so, just like that. The barrel nut, you just want to get the threading, just one drop, and get that threading right there, as well as the, it's not really a crush washer, but this metal washer that they have that sits on this, on the slip right here. Now I'm going to take it back off, but it'll sit right there, and it'll hold the spring right here. So you'll have that, and that takes care of those. O-rings. O-rings is just going to be another, finger one where you have just a little bit of oil. You just want to get that O-ring lubricated because, especially in drier environments, they'll dry rot if they're not lubricated, and then when they dry rot, they break, and then you run into worlds of problems. So that one goes right on the inside of here. So I'm going to still take the oil on my finger and lubricate where that base is, right around in here. So that'll be, and then that sits in there just like so. Go ahead and bring it closer. So you'll want to make sure that O-ring is lubricated, and then the threading on the inside of there as well. You want to make sure you get nice lubrication. And that is it. And then once you put it all back together, you'll have a completely lubricated firearm with all O-rings done, all metal on metal done, and all threadings done, as well as the different moving parts of the fire control group. You will have all of those are properly lubricated, and will save you time in the long run, and a lot of money when it comes to replacements, because they've been properly lubricated, so you're not going to have as fast of wear like you would on dry metal on metal contact, heat stresses, and stuff like that. So that is basic lubrication for the Tokarev TBP12. I'm going to put it back together now and show you the cycle of operations on it. And with that being said, let's get to it. All right, and that is a completely lubricated Tokarev TBP12. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I'll be answering all of them. And appreciate this request on this video. It was fun to finally be able to pull this bullpup back out. This was my first bullpup shotgun, so pretty solid. And I'll see you all in the next video. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It takes about 2 seconds. Later.